I will read part of the greetings. The full greeting is available from Congressman Rahal. Dear friends, I appreciate having this opportunity to congratulate you on making inroads to better health for West Virginians. I'd also like to thank HRSA Administrator Mary Wakefield for attending today and seeing the steps we're taking here in the Mountain State. The meetings you and others have been holding around the state, informing the people about the new law and passing on the unmitigated truth about it, are real and genuine service. The feedback you're getting is important to me, and I appreciate our continuing dialogue. 1 year later and counting, since the passage of the healthcare legislation, and I know you know it, but it bears repeating, we have lowered prescription drugs costs for seniors and broadened wellness programs and preventive care coverage. Lifetime health insurance limits are gone. Children with pre-existing conditions and those adults who have been denied coverage can now apply for affordable insurance. Young adults can now be covered by their parents' insurance up to the age of 26. Coal miners suffering from black lung have an easier time getting the medical benefits they have earned and desperately need. Or enjoy today, for tomorrow we have more work to do. As long as we continue working together, I know we will have many successes ahead. With warm regards, I am sincerely Nick Rahal, Member of Congress. Now I'm going to introduce to you Dr. Wakefield. Dr. Mary Wakefield was named the HRSA Administrator by President Obama on February 20th, 2009.
Well, since the passage of the Affordable Care Act just 1 year ago this week, we have made, I think, great strides on behalf of the American people. Families here in West Virginia and all across the nation now have more freedom and more choices, more control over what happens to them in terms of their health care. So, for example, senior citizens that are on Medicare will have their preventive services covered without co-payments. That provision alone ensures that West Virginia senior citizens have access to annual well visits without out-of-pocket expenses, have access to important screenings to prevent or detect early cancers. Those are important investments that make a real difference for real seniors right here in this state. And we wouldn't have them today without the enactment of the Affordable Care Act. In the past, what we would have seen in the not too distant past were tough choices that many seniors had to make, choosing between their ability to have access to an intervention and paying for something else because of the incomes that they lived on. So that's a burden that's in the past and doesn't go with us in the future now with the Affordable Care Act provisions. Because under this law, we see preventive services available for senior citizens, but preventive services as we move forward available and expanded for all Americans without co-payment, an important provision. The Affordable Care Act also ends discrimination by insurance companies against kids that have pre-existing conditions. Kids with asthma, for example, kids with diabetes. These new protections will impact about 90,000 kids, have the potential to impact about 90,000 kids right here in your home state. So it's an important benefit. This new law also bans limits on health insurance benefits. And starting in 2014, discrimination for pre-existing conditions, not just for children, but for all Americans, will be gone. In short, the Affordable Care Act makes it possible for millions of people who may not have had health care in years to have what will now be for them routine access to primary care services, to primary care providers, to screenings and interventions, to prescription medications, and so on. My agency, the Health Resources and Services Administration, one of the operating divisions of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, run by Secretary Sebelius, is and has been playing a key role in the implementation of many of the important features of this law. As the senator indicated, for example, we administer a 5-year, $11 billion appropriation to expand the number of health centers and health center sites and the range of services that those community health centers offer. This is an investment that will approximately double the size of the program, and it will be an investment that significantly improves access to high-quality primary and preventive health care in every corner of the nation, including right here in West Virginia. Today across the country, we have more than 1,100 health center grantees. And those 1,100 health center grantees operate over 8,000 clinics. Some of those sites are vans, mobile vans that go out to hard-to-reach areas. Those health centers today serve nearly 19 million people, about 40% of whom have no health insurance. Here in West Virginia, 30 of those health center grantees operate close to 200 different health center sites, serving here in your state more than 373,000 people. Some of your neighbors, some of your friends, some of your neighbors, some of your friends. And health centers are also proven engines of economic activity. These West Virginia centers, for example, support more than 2,000 jobs right here in your state. The Affordable Care Act also dedicates $1.5 billion to a program called the National Health Service Corps. And those dollars will be rolling out between now, they've just started, and will roll out that $1.5 billion between now and 2015. If you're not familiar with how the National Health Service Corps works, let me just tell you in a nutshell. The federal government provides loan repayment to individuals who, in exchange, are willing to work in rural and urban underserved communities. West Virginia has about 96 National Health Service Corps clinicians right now because of the support of Senator Rockefeller and others who have invested resources in that program. But the Affordable Care Act pushes the boundaries of the program out markedly so that going forward, in exchange for a promise to practice in communities, healthcare providers like family practice physicians, dentists, oral hygienists, and others will, in exchange for that loan repayment, provide service for at least 2 years in underserved communities. So the expansion of the Corps means that hundreds of more communities, medically underserved today, will have access to another doctor, another psychologist, another dentist or nurse practitioner. So those are the next generation of healthcare providers that can be directed right here to the state of West Virginia as a result of this investment that so expands the National Health Service Corps program to put providers in the health profession shortage areas where they are needed the most. And frankly, in West Virginia, you have a lot of those sites even still. So that's the promise of the Affordable Care Act that we're delivering on right now. We've just started to release those funds to ramp up the ranks of healthcare professionals. And here's a little secret that you won't read about. Do you know what? We have had thousands of healthcare providers who are just coming out of their training programs tell us, would you please let me know when those resources are available? I'm willing to step up and serve. That's what the Affordable Care Act is doing across the country, and ultimately what it's going to do for communities right here. Well, let me just wrap up by saying that and underscoring that as we observe the 1-year anniversary of the Affordable Care Act, it is, I hope you can tell from what I'm saying, already working for many, many Americans in this state and across the nation. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from some West Virginians today about how it's working for them. Our charge in the weeks and months ahead is to continue on your behalf to work together to ensure that people here in your state and all across the nation have access to high-quality health care right in their own communities. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you today.